And good morning, everybody from Denver, Colorado. This is Frank with Stroke of Luck with Uncle B. How you doing this morning, Jimmy?
Oh, sorry. I'm doing great. Something's weird about it on my end. You can hear me, though, right?
Yep, I can hear you.
Cool.
And I've got it muted on my YouTube channel, so hopefully that'll come clear. So looks like so far it's just you and I right now. So as people start to dip in, hopefully we'll also make a note to let people know about you and I being on Pittsburgh tomorrow morning.
Yes, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be awesome. With those guys.
Yeah, feel kind of honored to so early in my YouTube career. I know you've been doing YouTube a little bit longer than me, but for them to bring us on right away is pretty cool. I feel
right.
Pretty cool about that.
We gotta bring our A game. It's Denver versus Pittsburgh.
All right.
We gotta bring Tebow with us. Make sure Tebow is with us. Him and Demaryius Thomas.
Matt, what's up, buddy? Thanks for dropping in.
What's going on, Matt? How's it going? Is it getting warm there in Phoenix yet? It's usually May when it starts to get really hot, if I remember right. It's probably swimming weather to us, though, over there.
Right. Well, the thing that's hard about it right now with everything going on, it's like the weather's been beautiful here. I mean, prime weather to go out, whether you're a hiker, fishing, boating, whatever. I mean, the weather's just been spectacular. It's
gonna get ugly this weekend, though, right?
I haven't looked, to be honest with you. I haven't checked to see what the
sucks because I was talking to Sonia. Like, I was kind of inspired a little bit by Joseph's idea. My brother Joseph had an idea of having if the weather was nice, we could have like an outdoor get together. Just kind of bring your own cooler, your own drinks and stuff, and stay keep the social distance and just kind of like hang out and talk without having to, be inside and be close to each other. But yeah, with the weather, because I think the weather's going to turn bad this weekend, so that's not an option.
Yeah, it's, again, the biggest thing, I guess, is just, stay enough, don't need to hug or kiss or rub elbows with anybody, but we could still socialize and not affect each other, We definitely need to plan that for hopefully if the weather next weekend is better, let's plan on that.
Right. Just set up a bunch, bring your own chair, bring your own cooler, drinks and food or whatever, and just hang out, sit, set them up around the yard so we're not too close, like they say, and just hang out. I don't know.
Yeah, I got my next barbecue competition that was going to be the Mother's Day weekend down in Lamar just got canceled this morning. So I've got plenty of ribs and briskets and pork. And hey, Dan just said it looks like the weather's supposed to be nice this weekend.
When is it supposed to get bad then? I thought they said there's a storm coming in. Maybe I was half asleep when I watched the news. So. I've been doing a lot of that. Like, I go downstairs, sit on the couch, and I fall asleep. And I don't ever do that. Okay, Thursday and Friday are bad.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Thursday and Friday looks like it's gonna be the days.
Literally something I never do. I don't ever fall. I don't take naps. I don't fall asleep on the couch. But with what's going on and just being home every second of the day, like I've done that like 4 or 5 times this week. Just fall asleep on the couch because I'm bored out of my mind.
By the way, my cousin Dan just jumped in the chat. So what's up, Dan? How you doing?
What's up, Dan? The IT guy. If you don't want me to call you the IT guy as a joke, just let me know, Dan. But it might stick, so you better tell me now.
Right. We may need to have him on as a guest one of these days, and he can just answer, questions for everybody. Dan, you're going to need to take a vacation day from work. You're going to do this pro bono because you're not going to get paid. Come on.
Just sleep till noon. The days go by faster. Yeah, right. IT guy would be a demotion. Well, you know what? Sometimes we're not hiring any engineers right now.
Yeah,
We need an
yeah,
IT guy though. So
yeah, my wife Amanda, she's got to figure out sleep till noon, which
well, that was
you're up an
Amanda.
hour early, babe. Man, I feel kind of honored that you decided to jump in on the chat with us today. So
Right. I can't sleep till noon. I wake up every morning and I just can't. I've been staying up late though. That's probably why I'm taking naps, because I'll probably stay up till like 1 or 2 and then.
Well, that's why I said, Dan, take a vacation day so that way it won't be interfering with your regular work, You don't mind wasting a vacation day on me and Jimmy, right?
Wasting is the key word. It would definitely be wasting. You have a Royal Rumble going on at your house. What?
Yeah, so obviously Steven and Xavier are here from Gillette. Steven had to bring his daughter back from Gillette. And then we have RJ here with us this morning as well. So RJ and Xavier are in the same room together. We may have to break the social distancing, and I may be going to your house. I may have to sit on your porch, but to get out of the there you go, Dan.
I do too, Dan. I do too. I have unlimited days off. Right now, I have no choice but to. I just want to go sourcing. I want to go to a yard sale. I want to go to a thrift store. And it's early on in this too, so it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, looking for other ways to find ways to get inventory, because it's like, you know. I get going online and doing that is you can find some stuff. But man, to me, there's something about going out and finding stuff,
It's not as fun. That's why, that's part of the why I struggled with like doing Amazon FBA and RA, because it requires a lot of sitting at the computer and doing research before you go out. And I just want to go out.
Yeah.
But I'm going to learn it while I have the time. I'm learning that stuff, and I'm going to grow that side of the business. Might as well.
Yeah, we had a great conversation last night with Nate from Every Day I'm Hustling.
Yeah,
and he showed us some stuff that man, there's stuff out there. Just people do some research. There's ways to save money left and right, and on various, and not just on sourcing and selling. Just everyday life stuff. And
and so, but you combine that with the business, and you can if you make all your purchases with those ways, like Rakuten and stuff like that, of saving money, you can. That's a pretty good combo. You can kind of turn your business spending into everyday savings for your everyday life. Like, it's pretty cool.
Right.
And vice versa. Amanda, I agree. Where would you go eat, Amanda? That's what I want to know. If you could go eat a nice dinner tonight, where would you go? And then we'll all just dream about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm craving some Buffalo Wild Wings right now. I'll say that.
Yeah, I definitely could go for some B-dubs.
Or Perry's Pizza, too. Some pizza and some wings from Perry's. Doesn't get any better than that right there.
We had GQ for lunch on Sunday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Curbside pickup, obviously.
They actually have the door open, and it's 5 people at a time allowed in.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but they have all the tables put up and everything, just like just about every other restaurant. But yeah, it was good. Got some wings and some brisket. Yeah, Texas Roadhouse. I want the salad with 1,000 Island dressing. And already knows.
Yeah, here's a cheap plug. Did you hear that the CEO of Texas Roadhouse is donating his entire salary the rest of the year and the first part of next year to be distributed amongst the hourly employees?
Really?
So I thought that was pretty cool. So
how are you in the chat? You said what's up in the chat? I got you. I'm confused. I got confused.
No, that's actually my son. That's Junior.
That's Frank Jr. What's up, Frank? You got time off of work to come and visit us, or are you just not sleeping today?
Probably jumped in early just because I'm sure they got to get ready to leave to work here shortly. They're doing like 13-hour days right now,
Yeah,
14-hour days.
They've been working. He works at FedEx. They're working a lot of hours. Thanks for delivering those packages, though, Frank. I call him Frankie, so thanks for doing that, Frankie. Where a lot of people are staying home and you're definitely working your butt off. Philly Picker, what is going on?
What's up, Philly Picker? How you doing this morning or afternoon, and where you're at? But yeah, so my brother's girlfriend works with FedEx as well as him, and she put in 65 hours last week.
You mean your son? You just call Frankie your brother.
Or my brother, son, whatever.
one of those relatives. Yeah.
My son, Frank Jr., whatever. Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? Your brother has a girlfriend? I was like, wait a second, what? I mean, he's been on, he's had, but I was like, I didn't know he had a new one. I was like, wait, what?
Stevel Knievel, the Thrift King of Gillette. What is up?
Oh, yeah. Stevel Knievel.
How's the Asafa guy doing?
How's the Asafa guy? Chris, old school picker. What's up, man? How's it going?
OSP.
Chris had a really good live show yesterday. Never fails. Had a really good live show with Carolina Hustler. I was late because I was walking the dogs, Chris. I'm sorry, man. I forgot. And I went and walked the dogs because it was still nice here in Colorado. And I didn't get a notification because YouTube, they're starting to work a little bit now, though. I didn't get a notification and I was late. I'm sorry. But yeah, it was a really good show.
So how's sales going, Jimmy?
I had a typical weekday. I mean, my sales are down 25%. I mean, that's the number. If I'm going to give you a number, sales are down 25%. I just, I crunched some numbers yesterday, and in general, that's what I'm down. So I can live with that because the biggest thing that sucks about it is I had big plans this year, and I was going to grow my business. And now I'm having to, basically scale back 25% because that's where my sales are down. So it's not terrible though. It's not terrible. I can live with that number for the summer if I have to,
Yeah, my day yesterday was weird. Like I was telling you, I woke up to a couple sales yesterday morning. I boxed them up, threw them, shipped them out. And then it was like dead silence all day. And then ironically, when you and I and Nate went on to our little meeting last night, I had like 4 sales back to back to back to back. So you brought up that there were some issues with eBay yesterday, it sounds like. So I'm thinking that contributed to it.
Yeah, there was a lot of issues. I'm sure on eBay there's a ton of issues. You couldn't list at all from your desktop. Like, so you use the app more than I do, but the Seller Hub was completely down. The Seller Hub, you couldn't even log into it. You couldn't even get it to open.
Hey, Matt, brother, real quick, thanks for dropping in. We'll see you, brother.
Yeah, always. Matt puts out some good information. That box that he made, that was amazing. I don't know if you saw the video. He made a box out of I would never even thought to do that. So that was and not just for shoes. There's a lot of stuff that's in that size area that you can make that box, and it's easy. An easy hack, a Franken box, if you will. I was gonna say I did sell one of those giant Monster High dolls.
Did you? The ones that are new in the box that you had?
Yeah, new in the box. I got $90 for it.
Yep.
So I still got 2 of them left, but that first one, I paid $100 for all 3, and the first one sold for $90. So at that rate, I'll make about $150 to $180 profit on those dolls. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, so the biggest thing, and I don't know if it's because this weekend would have technically been WrestleMania weekend, but I've been selling WWE figures, and I sold 3 WWE T-shirts in the last 2 days as well.
Yeah, I should have put those belts up, man. Dang it. I sold that Tully Blanchard action figure. You saw that?
Yeah.
Sold that. Got $17 for it. That was good. I was surprised.
Yeah, they the WWE figures are WWE products itself are really moving these last 2 weeks, and then like I said, 3 shirts in the last 2 days. So, other thing to talk about for tomorrow, kind of exciting news. We got our second guest. You want to talk about that a little bit, Jimmy?
Yeah, so we're gonna have Brandon from Flip It and List It is gonna be joining us. He's just a guy that me and him have been following each other, both of us, since early on. And he's just got a lot of energy, and he's always commenting on my videos, and we just started opening our chat that way, and it's just kind of, he's he's fun to watch. I've said it before, to watch him grow. If I started watching him from his first like 3rd or 4th video, so just to see him grow his channel and his knowledge of eBay and how to sell on eBay, and to see him go from a very, very limited budget to now he's able to spend more and buy more inventory. It's just kind of a growth of an eBay seller that's fun to watch. And he looks pretty young, and so it just intrigues me. I want to get the point of view from I don't know how old he is. I'm gonna ask him, but it's very intriguing to me to get a point of view from a younger person. What made them decide to get into this? It took me until I was in my 40s to figure out this is something I want to do. To see an entrepreneur at that young of age, it's definitely impressive. And I just have questions like, what inspired him? He was a gamer. He had a gamer channel on YouTube, and to see him make that switch to a reselling YouTube channel, and he, some of his video talks about he's more focused on eBay and reselling than he is on gaming. So that's some of the stuff I'm, intrigued by, and I have questions from him, for him about. So that's, just some things to know about him. That's it's definitely an interesting story, and I recommend following him. He's got a lot of energy, and he's having a lot of fun making videos. So he'll be on with us tomorrow. It'll be a fun time. He's, like I said, he's got a lot of energy. He's a really fun guy, really fun guy to talk to and watch his videos. So
I'm gonna pop up this comment on the screen for Old School Picker. Already getting some action on that Megatron toy, huh? Look at that. He got an offer, but yeah, that's one of those things you can hold out for asking price all day long.
Yes, sir. Hold out for that. Hold the value of that item. Like you said, you're not going to find that ever again, and that person that's going to buy it from you, they're not going to find it anywhere else except for where you offering to sell it to them. So hold out, hold the value of that item for sure.
Yeah, the only way you're going to find that is you find a guy that works at an audio store and his girlfriend works at a sell it on eBay store.
All right.
40-year-old virgin reference.
Stupid. I haven't seen that movie in so long. I don't know all the quotes, but I know you do.
But yeah, funny that she actually she has a sell it on eBay store. So kind of hits close to home with us with the sell it on eBay stuff. So if anybody's not familiar, Old School Picker bought a couple Transformer toys that were vintage. I think 1983. Jimmy, is that correct? 84. I think. Still new in the package.
Well, the packaging on them was rough. So, and I don't think they were new. But the toys were in great condition. The packaging is rough, but still, I mean, 1984 Optimus Prime and Megatron, yeah, like you're not gonna find that if you.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of those grails we are.
Because you have the boxes. Are they in great condition? Like you said, no, they're not, but you do have them. And that adds value. I don't care, because that box alone in the condition is worth a decent amount of money. You could, so that will attract a collector for sure.
Yeah, and I talked about it a little bit yesterday where, for the right collector, the condition of the packaging in the box is not
for sure
an issue to them. I've sold plenty of action figures that the boxes weren't in the greatest. We just recently sold a Tony Hawk action figure that the plastic was cracking, and there were even a couple little pieces of the plastic weather rotted and broken out, and it still sold for like $20, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, I sold that. I did a video when I sold that Ozzy Osbourne, the one where I sold Ozzy, and I was all.
Yeah, you sold your.
I started off the video. I did that weird effect where man. That was fun making that video, by the way. I should do more stuff like that. That Ozzy bobblehead was that packaging was terrible. It was all sun faded and had cracks. Half the box was one color than the other color, because even the certificate of authenticity was all discolored and the numbering on it, but it still sold for a really good amount. So yeah, definitely don't let that. If you can get stuff for, like, I mean, he got those for $2. So if you can get it for the right price, I mean, look, he's talking about getting $2.15 for it. So if I know Chris, he would have spent upwards of $50 each on those, and it would have been worth it. It would have, it would have been a harder pill to swallow, but he would have paid upwards of $50 each on those. I know he would have, because he knew the second he saw them. I mean, he's a toy guy too. He knows exactly what he's talking about. I know the second he saw them, his heart probably skipped a beat a little bit, a little bit of excitement, adrenaline rushing. And when he heard the price, he probably dropped his wallet, fumbling to get money out of his wallet, because that's what I would have done.
Yeah, sometimes you can't. You got to almost be careful when you're pulling the money out of your pocket, because if
you're like,
you want to look too overzealous with it,
Here you go. Here's the money. Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, Chris knows what he's doing. Chris is he knows toys. He probably knows them better than I do. I've always said I don't know all the toys. I don't know. I heard the percentage of toys I know is not very good, but I know what popular lines are.
Yeah.
I know all the I know the popular movies, cartoons, shows. Stuff that I watched when I was a kid. I know all of it. Sometimes I still have to research stuff though. Where Chris, he sees something and he knows a lot about it all right off the bat.
Yeah, so something not to switch gears right away, but kind of exciting news for me. I got my first 2 Macari sales, one last night and one this morning.
What'd you sell?
You remember when we were at the Ark and I bought that U.S. Saratoga bomber jacket with the Pearl Harbor patches on it?
Yep.
You remember that? Sold that.
I didn't sell that though. Huh? You remember that? Well, it wasn't that. It
was but yeah, I sold that on Mercari, and then this morning I sold a Star Trek T-shirt. Took an offer on it because I was like, I've been sitting on it for ages, and I was more than happy to sell it. So
I was telling you, Mercari is no different than eBay as far as closed sales go. Sometimes it's going to take a while, but the younger that especially that bomber jacket is aimed towards a younger person. Someone, whether they're a street, they wear streetwear, or they're maybe a hipster or whatever, they're going to wear something like that. So that's definitely the target audience on there. And again, like I said, so there you go. You got 2 sales. You wouldn't have got those 2 sales if you didn't do that.
Exactly.
And at 100, if you can get 125 listings over there, if you starting off, you can get 5 or 6 a month out of 125 listings. That's good. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to get eBay numbers over there.
Right.
You're not going to get, it's just eBay just has more global reach, if you will. But if you can get extra, I'm not going to say no to an extra 5 to 10 sales a month. So.
Right. It's revenue coming from different directions.
And then if you can get once you get your 1,500 listings over there at, if you do them 125 at a time or whatever you decide to do, then you can start seeing daily sales just like, on eBay.
So I did notice one thing. Mercari stopped me at 100 listings. It would not let me list. I tried, I've been every day. I'm just boom, boom, boom through Vendu. Really? And I went to do, so I was doing some listings this morning while listening to Nate and Anthony, and they finally cut me off and said that you've reached your 100 listing limit. You need to sell some items to bump your limits or something to that effect.
Let's ask Anthony about that tomorrow. I didn't know about that. I'm not quite, I don't know how many. I think I have 90 something on there. I haven't listed them all yet.
So a great segue mentioning Anthony though. So do you want to talk about our exciting news for you and I tomorrow morning?
Oh yeah, I guess I kind of just spilled the beans, huh?
It was a great segue.
Huh?
It was a great segue. So by all means, take the reins on this one. It's pretty exciting. You're the one that set it up, so I'll let you announce it.
What am I announcing? I don't know what you're talking about.
Our
tomorrow morning, me and Oh wait, you're on this side now. That guy over there.
Yeah. Oops.
See, I can't. I'm good. That guy over there. We will be on Ecom and Beyond tomorrow morning. It's 8 o'clock Mountain Time, 10 o'clock Eastern. We will be joining Anthony Pittsburgh and Nate over at Every Day I'm Hustling. We will be joining them on their live show tomorrow morning. So it'll be on Pittsburgh, which is PICKSBURGH, right? Pix, like not Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh. It'll be on his channel tomorrow. Can you? I'm not a mediator. You want to try to add a link to that to his channel?
How do I? So I'm new at this. How do I make you?
You have to go to the actual YouTube channel. Click on the right side of everybody's name. There's 3 dots. You just click that, and then add mediator. I'd make Chris one for sure. So yeah, we're gonna be on Anthony's channel. But they do a show combined together called Ecom and Beyond. They take turns between their 2 channels. It just happens to be on Anthony's channel tomorrow. But we'll be joining them. Talk some reselling. Just try to have fun. They're both from Pittsburgh, and we're both from Denver, and we're all big football fans. So might be a little bit of trash talking going on. We might have to bring, he talked about Tim Tebow and when he beat the Steelers in the playoffs. That'll probably be brought up. We might mention that. I mean, you let Tim Tebow beat you in a playoff game.
Right, in overtime.
That's a hard pill to swallow.
So yeah, the cool thing about Nate and Anthony, for any of the viewers that aren't familiar with them, Jimmy and I kind of modeled our show after them. Again, like Jimmy pointed out, they're both from Pittsburgh. They're longtime friends, and they now call us the West Coast version of them. So it's kind of like an East Coast, West Coast connection.
Major praise right there. I appreciate that, guys. Major praise.
That was awesome. I mean, I got to admit, I was pretty smiling and had a pretty big grin on my face when they called us the West Coast version of them. So.
Yep.
So I hope they weren't referring to my size was similar, maybe.
Right. I'm sure we got a couple. We got a weight advantage. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it, though. It's gonna be fun talking to those guys. Because I've said it before. They're not only they have a lot of knowledge and they know what they're talking about, but they're really funny guys. They make me laugh every morning. I'm looking forward to being a part of that. They have a lot of ongoing gags and stuff on their show that just crack me up, between Mr. Burns and Doo-Doo Brown and hashtag Menu and all the pictures that I call him the hype man because Anthony puts up pictures and he has pictures that just get you laughing when he starts talking about Mr. Burns and stuff, and then Nate will start putting face masks, like the green screen masks on and stuff. So it's really funny, and it's just a great show. If you guys aren't watching it, I recommend watching it. Even if you, like Chris said, even if you're what's the word you use when you're hanging out in the background?
You're just kind of lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, kind of lurking. Even if you're just lurking in the back, you don't have to chat. Just watch. Sometimes I understand you can't. You might be working from a lot of people working from home right now. Yeah, lurking. So I have brain farts all the time, but it'll be fun. I think we'll have a good time. We'll get a lot of good laughs and hopefully touch on some topics that are, reseller topics and learn some stuff as well.
Yeah. So my cousin Dan dropped that link to that YouTube channel for Anthony. It's Pittsburgh. It's a fun show. Again, very interactive. A lot of people in the chat. A lot of things to learn from everybody. So check that out tomorrow morning for sure. And every day, as a matter of fact, because they alternate like right. Jimmy.
I'm gonna add a link to Nate's channel too.
Absolutely.
Because they take turns every day. One day it's on Anthony's channel. Next day it's on Nate's channel.
So, Matt, we will be on tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard, which will be 7 a.m. your time. That'll be tomorrow morning on Pittsburgh's YouTube channel. Matt was just asking, he thought he missed our show, but nope, we will be on tomorrow morning, so you did not miss it, brother.
And so the link I just add is Nate's channel. He's the one that shares the show with back and forth with Anthony. Nate's channel's Every Day I'm Hustling. That's so be sure to check out his channel on Thursday to see the show. Yeah, they just kind of that's kind of how we built our model, is swapping back and forth, taking turns on each other's channel, just helping each other out. And it's the second I saw it, I was like, that's a great idea. I want to do that. So I talked to Frank about it, and here we are.
All right.
My YouTube is frozen. It's weird. Like I can see the chat, but the video's frozen, which is fine.
Yeah.
Just kind of
mine did the same thing too. I was texting Amanda and my daughter Samantha asking if we were lagging at all. I was worried about that. We having any video issues?
We had some sound issues yesterday, guys. How's the sound today? Is it good? Any reverb or echo going on that you guys can hear? I was watching the replay, and Aaron brought it to my attention. There was it wasn't bad, but we had a little bit of sound issues yesterday. Yeah, that was fun yesterday, by the way. Huge props to Aaron for joining us yesterday. That was fun. She had a lot of good information. I actually learned a lot from her.
Yeah, I know she had a little bit of stage fright. She was a little concerned how she was gonna do on the show, and I think she came off really well. Her, a lot of confidence in her voice, confidence in the way she talked and everything.
I like the way she, she's funny. She was taking jabs at us already. She already reads us really well. She knows that we like to joke around and joke around with each other, and she was joining right in on that. She was giving us. I'm gonna link her channel in the chat as well. I thought that was pretty cool. Like she didn't hesitate to give us a little bit of a shot and pick, give us a hard time.
Right. Any questions, anybody out there for us? What's going on out there in the world where you're all at? Doesn't have to be about reselling or eBay. What's everybody up to? I know, Frankie, I know you're working. Amanda's dealing with Xavier and Ruben, so sorry, honey, I'll be done in about 4 hours. I mean, right.
SJ crying. Sorry. SJ doesn't cry. He must be emotional because he didn't get hurt, because that boy's
right. Oh man, you should have seen him last night. He kept spinning in circles, and then he'd wipe out on the floor, and he'd wake up, or he'd get up. I should say not wake up, because he wasn't knocking himself out, but he would get up and he would just be laughing his tail off, and oh my, it was so funny. That kid's a nut. So what's going on that end, Jimmy? How's everything Sonia doing with work? I'm sure she's there, obviously they're essential business. She's in the transportation industry, so.
Yeah, right now it's okay. So the latest word is some of the factories are closing down. So basically they've been told whatever's on the lot is all they have for sale right now. After that, if they sell everything on the lot, then things could change. But right now, she works at a Kenworth truck dealership, but she also knows the service side. So she could bounce over there, because the truck service side will never close. Trucks still have to be repaired so they can stay on the road. So, and she knows that side, so she could jump over there and help them some too. So right now it's all good.
Okay, good.
Logan starts his at-home schooling tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes.
I was just going to say, yeah, Samantha, I think she set up everything for this morning for her school. So,
I mean, I know they're trying to do everything they can, but I'm like, right now it looks like they're just going to dump a bunch of work on him and say, get it done by the end of the week. And I'm like, so when does the teaching happen, though?
Right.
That's not teaching. So I'm wondering why they're not doing like pre-recorded videos or something. Maybe they will. Like it wouldn't hurt to do like a pre-recorded lesson and then say, here's the work for it. Instead, it sounds like they're literally just going to say, here's a bunch of work and then turn it in on Monday. I don't like that idea because there's no I know it's a struggle for everyone. I'm not trying to talk bad. Like I know it's all new ground for them and it's a struggle for them just as much as it is us. But I don't like that idea of just dumping work in their laps and saying, here, do this. We're not going to teach them anything. Just do this work. I mean, it's keeping them busy and it's keeping their minds going, but they're not learning anything new. It's all stuff they already know.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, I understand. If I understand correctly, the Phoenix shut down all schools for the rest of the year. Is that correct, Matt? There in Phoenix? Because my thing, and again, I'm not proclaiming to be any kind of professional or have any knowledge, but I mean, there's already kids at homeschool to get like their GED and all that stuff. Why can't they use that curriculum that the average kid that would be homeschooling or whatever use that for the masses now? It can't be that hard to transfer over, but right. I could be totally wrong. So,
and again, like it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm just curious, like, I just didn't think it'd be that hard of to do a lesson and record it and post it on their channel. But I called it the day I picked up my son, his last day of school. I told my wife, I was like, he's not going back this year. It's gonna get worse, and he won't be going back this year. She thought I was overreacting. A lot of people thought I was overreacting, and I'm not trying to overreact. I just knew it. Like I just could tell. I was like, yeah, the way things are going, he won't be going back this year, and that's what's going to happen. They won't be going back this year.
It'll definitely be interesting to see when I call it a reset. This is we've all kind of a control alt deleted our lives, and when everything starts to go back to normal, how the masses will react to to trying to get back to our normal, everyday lives, which,
it's the obvious question, how's the economy going to react? There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be looking for jobs, but then there's going to be a lot of restaurants looking to hire. So all that stuff is going to be very interesting to me. I don't want to get too much in that because I'm not an expert on any of that stuff, but it's definitely interests me because I know what it's like, in 2008 when everybody was looking for jobs. It could be a rough time, but and again, though, there's gonna be a lot of companies hiring, hopefully too. So we'll see.
Say hi.
Say hi, RJ.
Hi, RJ.
Say hi.
He made his television debut.
At least RJ combed his hair.
Right.
Tell him hi.
So
Sammy didn't get that was referring to her.
I'll close out this conversation with, at the end of the day, we're resilient. I think 9/11 proved we can get kicked in the privates, but we turn around and we come back together, or we all come back together as a nation. And this in 6 months, this is going to be in our rearview mirror, and we're going to be joking.
You're right, man. I hope you are right.
We will. This country will come back. If anything, we're a country of true fighters. So hang in there, everybody, on that. And so, what else is going on? You said sales are decent. What about out there?
I'm gonna try to list a little bit here later. I wasn't able to list yesterday because eBay was down for the better part of the afternoon. So I'm gonna try to list after we're done here. Been taking the dogs for walks every day. Just not a lot. I'm gonna start messing with you saw. So I had to I renewed my sales tax license in Colorado, but I never got a physical copy. So I was trying to set up with this distributor, but I had to call them and get the copy of my license sent out because I don't have it, and that distributor requires a copy of it. So I'm working on that. So my plan is to kind of take it slow, get a couple toys in, or whatever I decide to buy, and start working on maybe on getting ungated on some Amazon stuff. It's gonna be a slow process. Like I'm not gonna try to do it all overnight. I've had an Amazon account for about a year. I've been selling small stuff here and there. But I'm going to try to grow that while I have the time. And since I'm at home and I can't source, I might as well get something done. So I'm going to try to start getting ungated on some Amazon stuff and working on that. Again, I have time, so it's just going to be a slow process and all. And then maybe when this is all done, and I can start doing some retail arbitrage and selling stuff on Amazon that way. So. And the ultimate plan is by the holidays, like you said, hopefully everything's better. Things are on the up and starting to come back up on the upswing, or whatever, or on the downswing, whatever. It's the backside of the whatever they call it, the curve, whatever.
We're looking at it behind us.
Yeah. So hopefully by the holidays, I can be ungated in some categories, have some inventory in Amazon, and we'll finish the year strong. So that's kind of the plan right now. I know it's a very far out plan, but the stuff I can do right now while I'm at home, I can start setting myself up for the end of the year.
Yep. Let's control what we can control, because sitting here and kind of pissing and moaning about the stuff we have no control over is such a waste of valuable time that we could be using, refreshing listings, retaking pictures or stuff or whatever it may be. So in case anybody, Jimmy, you dropped the word gated a couple times during your comments about Amazon. If anybody doesn't know what gated means, so on Amazon, if you're a seller on Amazon, there's certain product lines that you cannot sell on Amazon until at a point where you can. And Jimmy, again, you know more about this than I do, so you might be able to.
Yeah, so there's certain brands you'll just never get ungated on, but so I'll use like a brand like Mattel or Hasbro toy brands. Amazon wants you to they want you to show that you're buying from a distributor. So you have to buy before you can just say, hey, I'm going to sell Hasbro on Amazon. They want to make sure you're buying from an authorized wholesaler, distributor, or whatever. So you have to get an invoice from that company and submit it to Amazon, showing them basically you're a legit business. You have all the licenses you need, and you're buying from a legit distributor. It's obviously, I feel like it's to avoid like fake stuff, obviously, to being sold on their platform, because they don't tolerate that at all. So sometimes there's work on the front end to get yourself to where you can start selling that stuff. There's some things you can sell on Amazon. You don't even have to ask. You can just sell it. Like a lot of people say books. There's a lot of books you can just start selling on Amazon. You're not gated at all. A lot of used electronics, used video games. A lot of people don't know that you can sell used electronics and video games on Amazon. So that's the kind of stuff I'm doing right now. But I want to try to expand it and grow it into more new products, new in the box stuff. And that requires, see, Dan said Amazon's trying to avoid fake products. That's what they're trying to do. Yeah, so they want to make sure everything's legit. So that's why they require that stuff early on. But you can, and not just early on. They will ask you again later on. Like you can get ungated, and they could pop in and say, "Hey, we need to see another invoice." Stuff like that happens with Amazon. So you just
they want to.
That's what I know about it. I know there's a lot more to it, but that's what I know about it, and that's what I'm gonna be working on the next couple months.
Yeah, so essentially they want to avoid the people selling the, like you go onto like Facebook Market or Craigslist, the guy selling the Bronco jerseys or what if NFL jerseys for $40.
Yeah.
They're getting them from a Chinese distributor, and they are knockoffs, so they're trying to prevent those from getting out through.
Right. That's 100%. And those are, so you're naming off like there's certain brands. From what I understand, it's really hard to get like NFL, Nike. There's people. I mean, that stuff. It's not; those aren't even in my goals. I'm probably never try to get ungated on something like that. But
yeah,
that Matt. Now you say that, I don't think. I mean, I know people realize, but I don't know that. I definitely know that not everybody realizes you can sell used electronics on Amazon, and and they sell better on there than they do on eBay, and for more on there. If you've ever drop shipped a VCR off of eBay, or if you ever had a buyer. When they buy a VCR off of you on eBay, and then they say, please don't send an invoice and all that. More than likely, that was an Amazon seller that sold that VCR for more on Amazon, and now you're shipping it to their customer from your eBay store. Because you would be amazed at some of the stuff that you might be selling on eBay electronics wise, how much more it sells for in used condition on Amazon. So that's the main reason I started Amazon. I've sold some office phones, I've sold some VCRs, video games, all kinds of stuff I sold on Amazon.
So, and here's another to get some more clarity with Amazon. So there's two different styles of selling on Amazon. First one is what they call FBA, which stands for Fulfillment by Amazon, which means you basically tell eBay or Amazon, Jimmy, if I'm correct, you populate a list of the stuff you want to send into them, and then Amazon sends it out to your customers for you.
Yeah. So you create a shipping plan, you send it into Amazon. So your inventory is not active till Amazon has it. So that could take a couple weeks. You send your inventory to Amazon, it goes to their warehouses where they store it. And from that point, they do everything. They ship it, they do the customer service, all that stuff. So they take a higher percentage. But yeah, that's FBA. And then the other one is fulfilled by merchant, whereas basically it's just like eBay. You list it on there, and when it sells, you ship it from your house. You print the label right off of Amazon. To answer the question, I'm not 100% sure, Matt. I would not try to do that. I don't think you can. It's something I'll have to look into. I've never tried it. I honestly wouldn't, because Amazon is definitely more finicky when it comes to returns and stuff like that. They will approve a return without asking you. Like that's so. If you want to talk, and I don't think Amazon's bad on returns, but you basically have no say in it. If someone wants to return something on Amazon, it's coming back. That's all there is to it. Like it's approved by Amazon before you even, and you just get a notification saying, "Hey, you got a return." So there's no working it out with the customer. There is some. I know if you grow your Amazon, it gets to the point where you can have a phone number where they will call you. So the Amazon will literally have your phone number available. So you have to have a business phone number that they can call, so the customer can call you and talk to you if they have questions. So, but at the end of the day, if they decide they want to return, it's going to happen. You're going to get a return. So I wouldn't mess with something like that. And I don't think you can. I think the condition is you have to, it has to be working, but it's something I'll look into. Maybe I know Dan likes to look that kind of stuff up. Maybe Dan wants to look that up if he has a second. But I recommend it if you like selling electronics. You can make, and it's not just the amount; they sell faster on Amazon too. Especially video game consoles, video game consoles, video games. The graphing calculators sell better on Amazon. Just all the stuff that we on used electronics side that we know about on eBay sells really good on Amazon. If you haven't watched Froggy Flips sells a lot of used electronics on Amazon, and he sends them in FBA. I do a lot of mine FBM where I ship it from the house, but Froggy Flips, he'll send controllers, like TV remotes. He sends all kinds of stuff. He finds all kinds of used electronics that he sells on Amazon. And it's I met another guy when I was in Vegas. Not that he would care. Jamie Pace, he's a big on some of the eBay groups on Facebook. That guy sells a ton of electronics. His living is on selling used electronics on Amazon. He makes an amazing living selling used electronics on Amazon. So
hey Matt, so here's a kind of a quick tip that I would give on that if you're looking to get into Amazon. Like when the normal financial climate and we're during normal no virus, FBA is probably you would say, Jimmy's probably the best way to go because Amazon's getting it to the customers fast. But right now I'm finding out with a lot of stuff I'm looking for, I would be selling fulfillment by merchant. Because like I'm trying to find a charger for my wife's laptop, going through Amazon and getting it shipped from Amazon directly to me, I'll be lucky to get that charger by early May right now is the projected date. Now, if you can find somebody, look up that same charger you need and find one that is going to be fulfilled by a merchant, I'll have it next week. So for fulfillment by merchant, these guys are making a killing right now because they can actually get the product to the customer faster than Amazon. And 6 months ago, I would have said that's unheard of and that will never happen. But it's literally happening right now. Anybody that's ordering stuff off of Amazon, your normal 1 or 2 day lead time on Prime is almost a week at this point. So
I can't explain why. I can't explain the logistics of why, but the USPS is delivering faster than Amazon Prime right now. So that's why that is. So that's a great point that Frank made, because in normal operating time of when things are normal, if you send something into Amazon and sell it FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, it's Prime, so people can buy it and get it the next day. And most people love that. They love the Prime. So FBA is usually an advantage if you can send in your used electronics to Amazon and sell them. People can order them Prime and get it next day or second day, whatever. Right now, that's not the case. But when things get back to normal, that'll be huge again. FBA will be big again, and you'll be able. So that's why a lot of people use that, and it's just that convenience of being able to order something one day and have it in your hand the next day. So like video games do really well in FBA. Consoles, it's kind of like it's kind of up to you type thing, So let's say you have a PlayStation 2, all right, and you decide you're gonna sell it on Amazon. You can see that if you decide to do fulfilled by merchant, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to ask for less money because it's gonna take longer to ship there, and it's just how it is. So let's say you can on fulfilled by merchant, you can maybe ask $50 for it. But if you decide to package it up, send it into Amazon, you could maybe ask $60, $70 for that same console. But the fees are higher, I believe. I don't want to be wrong. I think fulfilled by Amazon fees are real. They're really high, like maybe 30%. Because again, once you get the big box of stuff to them, you don't have to worry about shipping it. You don't have to worry about customer service on it. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So FBA, more fees are taken out, but it's less work on your end. I mean, literally, you just send it into them.
Yeah, because essentially if you're sending, say, 20 items in a box to Amazon, you're shipping up one package of 20 items, as to where if you're doing it by merchant, like we sell on eBay, you got to ship out 20 individual orders if they all sell. So there is some monetizing from your time and material and whatnot.
Right.
So it just everybody's got to figure out their own.
And Amazon's app has a little calculator that you can do. So like. You can choose. So when you're scanning your item on your phone, you can choose fulfilled by merchant or fulfilled by Amazon, and basically you would put in there. So you'll select the item that you're trying to sell. Like let's say you're selling a TI-84 graphing calculator. You select that, then you can see what the least amount for sale one is. So let's say it's selling for $80. And then you put what you're going to pay for it. So let's say you're going to pay $5 for it, and then it'll literally calculate for you, after all the fees and everything, what you will make profit on that sale when it sells for the amount that it's selling for. So you can compare for fulfilled by merchant to fulfilled by Amazon right there on your phone and find out which is the help you decide which way you want to go. And I'll say fulfilled by merchant is definitely for the bigger, bulkier stuff. Ship that from your house. Because Amazon also does have, you get a certain amount of space for free, and then after that they'll start charging you for storage space. And then FBM right now for sure, Matt. You can't. I don't even think they're letting you send in FBA right now. Only certain items right now, anyways. And then the other thing was, I think you get to store stuff for a year. And after a year, if it has not sold, they'll start charging you storage fees. So most people just have that stuff sent back to them and they decide what they're going to do with it from there. But all in all, it's just for sales, for the amount of sales and usually a higher dollar. Amazon is just better for that kind of stuff. But it's all research, we all have to do our research. And I know, Matt, I'm not telling you don't know. You know how to do research. But you'll just price FBA compared to FBM compared to eBay and see which one makes more sense for you. If you ever go to FBA. But right now you could start FBM and compare FBM to eBay and see which one works best for you. I think you'd be really surprised at how good you can do. I've sold, and not just because it sells for more. Like I bought an office phone that would have never sold on eBay. Like it literally would have just sat there forever. But on Amazon, it sold within like 3 days of listing it. It's just people aren't going to eBay to buy an office phone. They will go to Amazon to buy an office phone. So it's stuff like that too.
And so here's another question I'll ask you, Jimmy, that Matt might be interested in getting the answer to is, so how does Amazon pay you once you sell your items?
So it's directly deposited into your account. I believe it's weekly. It might be every 2 weeks. I don't do enough of it to remember. It's just kind of like this little added bonus that gets dropped into my bank account. So you just link your bank account and they drop it direct deposit into your account. You'll get an email saying your funds are on the way and they drop it right in your bank account. I think it's weekly. I could be wrong. Nate would know that for sure. It's either weekly or bi-weekly, but either way, you won't get your money instantly. It's not like PayPal. You don't get your money right away. You get paid every week, basically. What's up, Petey? Thanks for dropping in.
What's up, Razor Ramon? So, and essentially, in my opinion, because a lot of people get turned off by the idea of not getting their money immediately, like they're used to getting it from eBay through PayPal, just like this. What a lot of people don't want to face the fact is that eBay is going to their own system of paying you, which is going to be like Mercari or Poshmark or Amazon.
It's going to actually be more like Amazon. It's going to go directly into your bank. You're going to have to link your bank account.
Yeah, to me, this is if you start slow on Amazon, this is a great way to set you up for the inevitable because PayPal is going away on eBay.
Yeah,
I believe it'll still be an option, but
yeah, you can still keep your money there and people can pay that way. But Amazon, you'll have to select it where eBay is going to collect the money for you, and then they're going to distribute it from there. Where right now PayPal is collecting the money for you and directly into your account. eBay will they'll collect the money and then they'll distribute it. But in very, very simple terms, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, because what is eBay calling their new payment program? The name escapes me right now.
Yeah, right.
Managed payments.
Managed payments. Yep.
Managed payments.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, if you start on Amazon now, it's a great way to get you ready for the inevitable.
That's something good to talk to Anthony about tomorrow because he's on managed payments, so we could pick his brain a little bit about that tomorrow.
Yeah, and because Anthony, Matt, I'm going to be setting up my Amazon probably today as well, and going to start trying to dive into that a little bit. And you don't need to have like an LLC or anything like that at this point with Amazon.
No, you can do self-proprietor, but you're going to be ready. It's not as easy as setting up eBay because eBay had PayPal and you could link it all. Boom, boom. Amazon, you're going to have like photocopies of your bank account statements and stuff like that, and you'll have to submit that. So it's not hard, but it's just a little more clerical work, if you will, and sending some files to them. And sometimes they're really strict about everything. So like you can't take a picture of it and then save it to your computer and then say it has to be the original file, so it can't be. So there's some little steps that you have to, that you might have. I had trouble with. That's only from experience. Like because I saved the picture to my desktop or something like that, and then I pulled it from my desktop and tried to drop it in. It wasn't the original file anymore. So stuff like that, but it's not a big deal. Like just make, you can work your way through it, but it's not as easy as eBay was. There's some steps.
Yeah, and Nate was explaining to me last night that essentially the reason why Amazon is doing that is that's their way of vetting people that are trying to set up a new account after they've been kicked off of Amazon for either selling fake merchandise or something, and they've been banned from Amazon. So then they turn around and try to do it under their wife's name, but they have a joint checking account. So it's stuff like that they're doing to keep the bad or the scrupulous sellers out of their system, because obviously Amazon lives and dies by their brand. And if they've got people selling fake Coach purses or whatever, it's not the merchant that gets the bad name, it's Amazon. So they're covering their backside.
They will not tolerate it, just so you know. Everything you do on, and I'm sure everybody here, they keep their business honest and up on the up and up on Amazon. It's a must. Don't think you're going to get over on them. Don't think you're going to fool them on anything. They will catch you and they will shut you down. So, you would definitely not want to do anything like that. So, I got some good advice from Nate last night. If you find something that's new in the package, but you bought it like in an estate sale, a thrift store, a yard sale, if you don't have a receipt from a retailer, you should list it as used, or because if for some reason something went wrong with that product, and Amazon can ask you, where did you get this? Show us the proof. You better have a receipt to show them. I would start off just used, like you said, Matt. Used is the best way to go on Amazon to get started. Books are really good. If you can find used books, it's a little more work on the front end, a lot of scanning and number crunching, but books, college, if you know anybody that has any college textbooks, they do great on Amazon, and you can make a ton of money selling textbooks on Amazon. But just used electronics is really good. There's some toys that you can sell that you don't have to be that you're not gated on. There's stuff, puzzles. There's some puzzles you can sell, and that kind of stuff just does better on Amazon in general. So
and quite frankly, with the current climate right now is the time to get puzzles and board games, video games.
Problem is you can't send that into FBA right now, so you'd have to do FBA.
Oh, which is again, because you can get it to that buyer faster than through Amazon anyway. Right. So again, hey Dan, thanks for dropping in with us today. I appreciate your help moderating the show.
Yeah, Dan.
Enjoy your meeting as much as you can have in a meeting, right?
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, with our, you and I have talked a lot when we're driving around going sourcing about Amazon, and then our talk with Nate last night was, opened up some other avenues to make Amazon more beneficial. Yeah. So it's definitely something I want to look at and get into as well.
I've been doing it for a year. It's something that I definitely put on the back burner just because, it's frustrating when you find good products and you're gated. You're like, oh my gosh, I would make so much money off of this, but I can't. And I did not a lot, but I did a decent amount of research like that. So I kind of backed off on it, but now that I have the time to focus on it, I'm going to go back. Another thing that says good, Frank's seen Blank Media. Blank Media does really good on Amazon as well. That's something to definitely look into as well. If you have Blank Media sitting around, you can do really well on that on Amazon as well.
Yeah, I've got a whole shelf dedicated to Blank Media right now. That's going to be one of the first things that I try to put on Amazon. I know, again, there's some Blank Media that you can't. I remember going out with you to a few garage sales where you're like, well, I can't sell this on Amazon, but I can sell it on eBay.
Right. Yeah, I had a feeling most resellers have. What's that?
I was going to say, when you were going to say, I think it was Sony was one that you
like Sony Blank Media. I could. But some of it you can. It's so weird. Some of it you can. So it's just a matter of scanning it. You scan it, and then Amazon will tell you if you are allowed to sell it or not. That's basically what it comes down to. So that's another thing I think, I could be wrong. I could be off based on this, but I feel like, people, eBay sellers that are selling Blank Media, it's Amazon sellers that are buying it from you because they can sell it for way more on Amazon. I would go ahead and say I'm pretty comfortable in saying that if you sold some Blank Media for a good price, you probably sold it to an Amazon seller who's turning around and selling it on eBay for more. I'm guessing on that. I don't have the facts to back it up, but I'm pretty sure a lot of that stuff is going on. So why not just do it yourself? Why not just get Amazon FBM yourself and do it yourself? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say, but there's a very, very popular YouTuber that I watch that I was looking at his eBay store, and he had some blank media for sale in his store that I bought, and I sent it to Amazon, and I made money on it. So I can say I did it, and I'm sure he's happy with the sale, and I was happy with the outcome, and I was happy that I made some money on it. So I guess I could say I know it happens because I did it. So, yeah. On that, Matt, I'm gonna say I've sold it as new because I didn't know. I haven't had any issues though. But you can still mark it as used, and then say, this is, maybe I shouldn't be giving this advice. This is so you can mark it as used, and a package has damage. So say the package is sealed, has some damage, that's it's used. You can do. You have to be careful on stuff like that, and I don't want to give the wrong advice. On that stuff I'm learning as well. But I see it on Amazon, like new, sealed, package has damage, and then sell it as used. That's the safer way to do it. And it's not something I know everything on, so I don't want to be wrong. Definitely do your research on that. But you can do that. Just be careful. You wouldn't want to get shut down on Amazon right away because of that. Now, I'm just speaking from experience. I've sold stuff without receipts new. I was told last night I was risking it, and I need to be careful with that. So definitely be careful.
I guess with the new media, there's less of a risk of there being an issue with it where you might have a customer want to complain about it. So
yeah. So I mean, as long as you're legit, know that it is completely sealed. There's no damage to the package. Everything is great on it. The chances are, of anything happening are slim to none. But, and I don't know if it'd be a slap on the wrist by Amazon or not. That's something I'm going to be learning, Matt. So, but I've sold it. I've definitely done it. And again, it was because I knew there was absolutely, the CDs were 100% sealed, never opened, completely sealed all the way around, and I didn't have any issues with it. So I mean, and people are doing it. Don't get me wrong. People are doing what I said. They're making, they're sending in stuff to Amazon and selling it without a receipt. It happens. You just gotta be careful if you get asked for that receipt. I don't know what happens then.
So let me pose this question out to you, Jimmy, and you can help both myself and Matt on this one. So we're at a garage sale. We find a sleeve of TDX rewritable CDs. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll let you take over from here, but you open up the app, you'll actually scan the barcode, and Amazon will give you all the info you need on that item, how much it should sell for.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, Amazon's each inventory item has a ranking number, so you can tell if it's a desirable item. It'll tell you how many sales have been in the last month or two. Am I correct, Jimmy, or something like that? Or it tells you how many they've sold compared to listings. So it kind of helps you to.
Let me see if I can
take over from there.
So I don't know. It's kind of hard to see my phone because of the glare. Let me close these blinds. Are you able to see you're able to see it, right?
Yeah.
So you hit the little camera right here, and it brings up the thing to scan. Scan it. So I'm going to scan this PlayStation 2 adapter. So you can see right away, you'll be able to tell that says requires approval, so I can't sell that. And it's Sony, so I'm not even going to ask. But I can still select view offers. So I select view offers. And so now I can look at what they're selling for. Whoa.
trying to make it a little bit clearer for you to.
So you can see right here, I can go to new, and I can even look at, so these are the new ones and what they're selling for. Come on. And then I even want to scroll down and see if there's any. So there's none in Prime right now. That's because of what's going on. So normally you could see what they're selling for on Prime as well. So that's, you can see the new price. So $12.55 is what they're selling for new on Amazon. And then you can see the used, what they're selling for used. And it says the condition, good, very good, good. So that's what I'm saying. You could do used like new and say that like this one, I would say used like new, and it has some damage to the box or some sticker residue, and it's still fine to sell it that way. And then, so then, you know, that's how you found your price. I found my price, and then you can, okay, then you I'm sorry. I lost it. Hold on a second. Let me scan it again, because I found the question you were asking. You can see right below it the sales rank right there. So it tells you the sales rank in its category, which that's a good sales rank. Usually, and you know, anywhere below 500,000 in most categories is a good sales rank. So this has a really good sales rank. But that's not the only thing. There's a lot of other stuff you can do to find out. There's a add-on called Keepa. That's it basically looks at all the analytics for you. Because another thing you need to know is how many are for sale on Amazon and then how many are selling. But that's a paid thing. You have to pay for that analytics. It's called Keepa. That would be for someone that was really into it and, you know, starting to grow their Amazon, and they've got past some of the initial stuff of getting started. But so yeah, I mean, it's all right there. You can find out everything you need right on the app. You can do your pricing. You can find out if you can sell it or not. As you can see, I was not allowed to sell that.
Because one of the, you know, a great example you and Matt or Nate were talking about last night was, I can't remember the exact item you guys were talking about, but it had like, I can't remember the numbers, but it was something about there was like 70 plus sales.
So you're talking about the Star Wars action figure?
Yeah. Do you remember those numbers you guys were talking about last night?
The first thing he has some of the add-ons that you can look at numbers. So the first thing we found out right away is that so one of the things you have to watch out for is if Amazon sells it, because if Amazon sells it, your chance, you know, you have to beat their price, or they're gonna, you know. So if Amazon sells it, then you need to be lower than Amazon's price. But
so real quick to clarify, so when you say so, Amazon physically owns that action figure,
and they sell it.
50 of them in stock or 10 or whatever that number is.
When you look at something, you can see who's selling it. And so Amazon sells. So if I view offers right here, it's not showing that. Okay, yeah. So if I'm viewing the offers, see where it says used very good, and then right below it, there's a name. That's the customer that's selling it. So storage estate sales, Game Swift. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can. So if you see, so there you go. It says who's selling it. If you see Amazon on there and Amazon's the lowest price, that means you got to beat that price because Amazon wins all day. So this particular action figure, we saw that Amazon was selling it. Amazon had 790 of them in stock, and about 70 of them were selling every month. So real quick, you can do the math on that. That's over 10 months of selling before Amazon runs out. So that's not built into this, and that's not information you're going to find on here. You're going to have to, that's a secondary party or whatever the word is on that does that kind of research for you. That you have to, it's a paid subscription to get. So if you grew Amazon, you'd have to start learning that kind of stuff. Because you don't want to buy a cart full of stuff and then find out that Amazon has 1,000 of it in their inventory. Like you just bought a cart full of stuff that Amazon has a bunch of.
So I guess a great analogy for that is like, let's say you have the Star Wars figure. Amazon has 800 of them, and you have the same action figure, and you want $10 for it. Amazon sells it for $9.99. Amazon will win that sale every single time.
Yeah,
until they
buy box. Yeah,
and then so if you drop your price down to $9.98, Amazon will drop theirs down to $8.97. It's kind of a race.
Necessarily, but they could. Not necessarily, but they could. So there's a high chance of that happening.
So just be cognitive of what Amazon's inventory is and what they're selling at compared to other merchants, because like you said, Amazon's going to win out. They're going to sell their inventory before they sell yours.
The good thing about that is like dead stock like this that you can find at yard sales and thrift stores and whatever. This is dead stock. This is an old Sony PlayStation 1 RFU adapter. You're not going to find this new. Amazon's not going to have a warehouse full of these.
Right.
So stuff like this, you're not going to have to worry about Amazon. So early on, when you first start, if you can find stuff like this, I picked this up for $1. I'm not going to sell it on Amazon. I can't. But, something similar to this, you can sell on Amazon, and you don't have to worry about, you only have to worry about other resellers at that point selling FBM or FBA, because Amazon's not going to have a warehouse of this stuff. Just like your old VHS tapes that you had and your cassette tapes, Amazon's not going to have a warehouse of that stuff.
Right.
You're only dealing with. And so, like I said, Amazon, they have you can do used like new. That's how I would sell anything like that. And most of your competition is going to be selling it the same way. And I don't know that there's an issue with it, because you are marketing it as used with some damage, wear to the packaging, whatever you want to put in there.
So my mind races on stuff like this. So I don't know if you have the answer to this or not, but you were just showing me that RFU adapter for a Sony PlayStation. It's a Sony branded product, but say you had a third party person that sells an RFU adapter for a Sony PlayStation. Can you sell that on Amazon because it's for a Sony
if it's so here's the things to consider. If it's in their inventory, I sell it. I'm not going to ever add inventory to Amazon because I don't, so there's people that private label or whatever, they actually add inventory to Amazon, and, they add their own products and they sell it. So if it was already added by somebody else and it has a UPC and you're allowed to sell it, you're not gated, then sell it. So yeah, if you find a third party one, you scan it, it's already in Amazon's inventory and nobody's blocking you from selling it. You're not gated. The company's not saying, hey, you can't sell our product unless you're an authorized dealer. Then just sell it. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
I mean, again, Amazon has their checkpoints and stops before you. You're never going to have to worry about that on your end. Now, if you start adding something, if you start saying this is my private label and it's not, then you're getting yourself in big trouble.
Yeah. Don't put a shipping label sticker over the Sony logo on that RFU adapter and call it Uncle B's RFU adapters, because
so
you might get away with it short term.
Huh?
I said you might get away with it short term, but you'll get caught. You may.
I've heard some horror stories like Amazon will shut you down and you'll never be back. So you have to be careful on there.
I mean, and we know some of our YouTube friends that are doing $10,000-$12,000 a month in Amazon to risk selling a $10 RFU adapter for a $10,000 worth of income.
Just like the time I bought some Whirlpool filters for a refrigerator, and I didn't know Whirlpool was on the Vero or whatever. So I listed it, and I got a warning right away. I just put those back in. I took them right back to the thrift store and just donated them. It wasn't even worth the risk. Like, I found out the hard way. I didn't get in trouble or anything. eBay just told me you can't sell Whirlpool. It's like, okay, you don't have to tell me twice. I'm not even gonna keep this stuff. I'm taking it down and redonating it. Like I'm not even. I picked it up at a yard sale. I'm just gonna donate it. Like I'm not even gonna mess with it.
You know, I have a great video on my channel talking about those medical supplies when you and I and Sonia and Amanda and my brother went out to the flea market. Yeah, trust me, it could be tempting. I spent less than $10 on all those things, and I was potentially looking at $3,000 in sales.
Yep.
But again, if I get kicked out of eBay for selling those, the risk is not worth the reward. You know what I mean? It's insane. Some people will do it because they like to live that way. I'm not going to do it because, again, that reward from selling those is not worth the risk that we have involved in. And, the income we have from doing this, to get over that.
Give up my $500 a month.
What's that?
So I'm not going to give up my $500 a month for that.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother always accuses me of cooking the books when I distribute the profits from our business, and he always tells me I have 2 sets of books. I got the.
That's funny. By the way, I got those. I got some of that work done. Did some of that math for you. I'll be sending that your way.
Yeah.
I'm his accountant. He has to pay me.
He sits there. So, but yeah, I mean, that's good info on Amazon because, like I said, we've talked a lot about it, and there's definitely some hurdles you got to work through with them. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you start pumping out sales like some of these other guys, I mean, you quantify a guy that's doing 12 grand a month in Amazon sales.
Yeah.
And
yep.
That's over 100 grand a year.
The only thing I'll say is, and I learned some stuff last night, but it's a lot of research and a lot of you're going to be shopping a different way. It's not as, it's fun, but it's also it can be frustrating. It can be very frustrating because you think somewhere has something that it says on their website that they have them, and then you get there and they don't have them. It's frustrating. Where yard sales more of a hunt. You're on the hunt. You're just kind of looking in thrift stores. You're just hunting for that. You don't have a specific thing in mind. Where retail arbitrage is where most people are making a lot of money on Amazon. I see Walmart has this on clearance. I'm going to go buy it, and then you get there and they don't. Or then you get there, and if you didn't do your research ahead of time, you get there and find out you're gated on it. Oh, like I found some. All right, Matt, thanks for dropping in, Matt. I appreciate you dropping in and hanging out with us.
Matt, thanks for stopping in, brother. Appreciate you.
I've done some retail arbitrage where I just dropped into a Walmart and started scanning stuff, and I found some it was this doll character, and there was 12 of them for really cheap, and I would have made a ton of money off of them. Gated, restricted. And then I said, well, let me see if I can get approved. We need an invoice. Son of a biscuit, I say. So yeah, that stuff can be frustrating. It's definitely a different kind of hunt, a different kind of treasure hunt, if you will. And it's going to take some getting used to. It's kind of like going to a yard sale. You found something that you know is worth money, and then the person wants what it's worth.
Right.
Or more than it's worth. It'd be like if Chris found those Transformers and the guy said, I'll take $200 for them.
We've seen that too. I'll give you guys a great example of somebody where they overvalued one thing and did another. Was a guy had an old original series 1, we're going to call it iPod. The guy wanted $60 for it because it's a first edition iPod. That thing's not worth $30.
Right.
He wanted 60 for it. Yet in the bottom of the throwaway box, he had a set of yellow Sony headphones that would have went with the yellow sports Walkmans. I talked him into taking a quarter for it because it was in his free box. My brother will remember this. He was with me. I sold those headphones for $35 that he gave me for a quarter. Yeah. Oh, my cool. My little stop sign showed up, for your son of a biscuit, I'll need to learn to be a little bit more like when Anthony has all the different screens pop up all the time for stuff. Those guys are a riot. You guys will see it tomorrow morning on their show.
Yeah.
I got to get more advice on that kind of stuff, but we're running about an hour and a half, so I think I'm ready to shut it down. I got some work to do, Jimmy. I know you do too.
Okay.
Got to get those dogs walked.
All right.
So
they're snoring over here.
You know what my dogs are doing? Them going for a walk is walking from the couch to the water bowl to get something to drink, and that's about it.
I'll get you those numbers here shortly, Petey.
Yeah, I just saw that comment. Yeah. Who's your accountant? Dr. Vinny Boom Bots? No, that's his doctor, not his. Sorry. What was his name? Who was that comedian?
I don't remember.
Oh my God! From summer or back to school and all that.
Oh, I don't remember.
Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, you're talking about the actor. I thought you were talking about the character.
No, he'd always say, "You know my doctor, Dr. Vinny Boom Bots. You know my doctor." So. All right, folks, everybody, thank you for stopping in. We're going to call it a morning. And remember, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, Mountain Time, Pittsburgh. We have his link in the chat. Uncle B and I will be on there from 8 a.m. until whenever. And then at 11 a.m. Mountain Time tomorrow, this show will be coming to you live from Uncle B's YouTube channel.
And we'll have a special guest, Brandon from Flip It and List It will be joining us tomorrow. So
yep.
Be a pretty good time.
All right, guys. Thank you all for dropping in. We appreciate you. Thanks for the support, and we'll see you tomorrow.